Welcome to this, the third edition of R&I Days, and the second to be held entirely digitally from Brussels. I'm Jennifer Baker, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for the next 2 days. Last year, the Research and Innovation Days were a tremendous success, with more than 35,000 people tuning in across Europe and the world from more than 188 countries, enjoying 3 days of discussions around research and innovation. This year marks the start of the Horizon Europe programme, our most ambitious programme on research and innovation in Europe. And you will be part of a series of discussions around the big issues about post-COVID recovery, sustainability, the green transition, digitalisation and climate change. We will be having inspiring conversations online, and we want you to be part of them. As you can see, these beautiful studios around me in Brussels have been built in tribute to the Bauhaus movement to mark the new European Bauhaus with its elements of green design and sustainability. In fact, they are being built from wooden structures that will be recycled after the event, and there's been a prioritisation of rented material so that it can be repurposed and used sustainability. The European Research and Innovation Days are committed to bringing societies and individuals closer to a more sustainable, more digital and greener future. It's going to be all about the European research area and what we can do to make Europe great. Excited? Curious? Well, the European Research and Innovation Days have started. I'm excited. So what are we waiting for? Join me in the studio. You are very welcome to the European Research and Innovation Days. I know there's 90,000 of you already joining me online. So without any further ado, let me welcome to the stage Jean-Éric Paquet, the Director General at the Directorate General for Research and Innovation in the European Commission. Jean-Éric, welcome. What makes this year's programme special? Tell us what not to miss.
Well, I must say I'm really happy to welcome so many of you to this third edition of the Research and Innovation Days. They are, of course, different from last year. There's, of course, also an element of continuity. We will continue to discuss with you Horizon Europe and how you will shape Europe's research and innovation landscape by implementing your great projects under Horizon Europe. But what we want to do this year is to take stock of what happened over the last 12 months. A lot happened in research and innovation during the pandemic, obviously. I also very much expect a lot of interesting discussions on how Europe will recover, including with a key contribution from research and innovation. In fact, science has never been more visible in Europe. There's a lot of stock taking to be done and a lot of policy work to be done to bring this agenda forward with you.
Well, of course, we're online, so that means Research and Innovation Days is worldwide. We're global today, but we are based in Brussels. And Jean-Éric, I know you've had a chance to get out and about and talk to citizens.
Yes, we are trying this year to connect these Research and Innovation Days, which are indeed truly global. I think we have participants from probably across the entire globe. But what we wanted to try to do is to connect also to where the European institutions are based here in Brussels. And I had the privilege to discuss it yesterday with Barbara Trachte, the Brussels Secretary of State for Scientific Research. And Innoviris is their label, their platform to promote research and innovation here in Brussels. And you will see during the Research and Innovation Days a few clips where Barbara Trachte and colleagues, myself included, we try to to engage with citizens and see how they see science, what they expect from science, how they want science to be shaped for their future. So that will come also during the Research and Innovation Days.
Well, of course, there's a lot happening, and we have a tremendous platform built around Research and Innovation Days, because we're not meeting in person, but there's so much you can do online. You can go around the village, the doors to the houses are open, there are workshops, there's a play zone, you can really, there's a network area, and there's live sessions across, of course, 5 channels. So today, it's our opportunity to welcome the research and innovation community. So there's an online exhibition where we want people to come in and really engage with their fellow participants and really exchange information and enjoy it, as well as actually finding your way around this online platform. It's more than just any old website. It's a really, really interesting and innovative platform, and I do urge you to check it out. So I think we've seen a lot of behind the scenes. There's even podcasts that you can look at. So Jean-Henrique, tell us more about all of this exhibition area and all of these online things that we can do.
Yeah, well, indeed, we have an online event for obvious reasons, but I think this online event brings a lot of added value. And there are indeed two features which I think are really important. The first one is the networking dimension of the Research and Innovation Days. The first year we held them in 19, we were all together here in Brussels, several thousands of you, and many of you gave us as a feedback that this was an amazing moment to connect as scientists, connect as policymakers, and we try with the village to provide you this digital platform to do it maybe in an even more impactful way. And I very much hope that this will be an opportunity also for scientists across Europe to find each other and maybe team up in great projects to come under Horizon Europe. And then indeed, we have so many amazing projects which have been supported under research, or more than 1,000. But on display in the platform, indeed, 100 of those. You will see it on the platform. I must say, I'm very, very impressed by the work done by the teams in the Commission and with the organizer. You will see it's really, really good fun to connect and then navigate to the platform and find those projects which you find relevant, to maybe have fun, to also, I hope, be impressed, and maybe to pick some of these ideas and try to bring them to the real world. So have a look.
European research and innovation truly does hold the solutions, and you are research and innovation, and together we are all Research and Innovation Days. So thank you, Jean-Henrique, for this uplifting opening. We are now very, very pleased to welcome the woman behind the scenes of so much of this work. Please say a warm welcome, wherever you are across the world watching, to the European Commissioner for Research, Culture, Education and Youth, Maria Gabriel. It's lovely to see you. We're in the studio. Thank you for being with us today. Tell us, what are your expectations for the next 2 days?
Thank you very much, dear Jennifer. Well, dear ministers, dear members of the Parliament, dear research and innovation community, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, it is a great pleasure to welcome you to this 3rd edition of our Research and Innovation Days. Since the last edition, a lot has happened. Jean-Henrique, you said it. And what is important for us now is that we are keen on hearing your views and your expectations for research and innovation policy to build up a sustainable future for Europe. Yes, the COVID-19 crisis proved that cooperation in research and innovation is essential in our recovery from the pandemic and will pave the way to greener, more digital and fairer future. And the European Research and Innovation Days represent a unique opportunity to add your voice to the conversation. I believe that we can deliver excellent results for Europe in the next decade. Because with Horizon Europe, we have the most ambitious European research and innovation program with 3 dimensions. First, its wider scope of flexible instruments covering fundamental research to close-to-market activities. Second, its duration, which allows for stability and certainty of our investments. And third, the unprecedented budget of 95.5 billion euro. Last week, I announced the Horizon Europe work program for the next 2 years with a total budget of 14.7 billion euro. And yesterday, the calls for proposals were launched. We are waiting for you. So you will be able to hear during our R&I days firsthand about the program, our novelties, to get insights on the structure and launch calls from Commission team at the event village. Now, I think we can say that we are better prepared for the next decade because we have defined new guiding policies and targets. And besides the well-known objectives related with the green and digital transitions, Horizon Europe will focus on improving our health, mobility, energy efficiency, food security, while tackling climate change and preserving our cultural heritage. The importance of investing in science and innovation became clearer to all of us during the crisis. We have succeeded in developing effective vaccines in an unprecedented short period. And this was only possible because of the decades of investments in research and innovation via our dedicated programs and the flexibility embedded in Horizon 2020, which we adopted in record time. There are more challenges ahead in all policy areas, for which research and innovation will be instrumental, and we must strengthen our European capacity. To address some of these challenges, we have renewed the priorities of the European research area. In our dedicated session, we'll discuss the main achievements and how to best further engage citizens and stakeholders. Concrete guiding principles, investments, and actions would enable us to build forward better. But this is not all Europe is doing for research and innovation. With Horizon Europe, we are also aiming at creating more synergies with other European programs in order to do more for our citizens. I'm thinking about the synergies with the cohesion policy, with the recovery and resilience facility, or with our industrial roadmap. Another direction for synergies is on public-private cooperation in order to solve great technological challenges such as the development of clean hydrogen or high-performance computing. We must work hand in hand with industry. And there, European partnerships will be instrumental. Later today, we'll celebrate the signature of 11 memoranda of understanding. And for us, it's an important moment. We would like to advance together with industry with this co-program partnership and the engagement and commitment of our industrial partners. A sustainable and resilient recovery requires solutions, which can be achieved only by activating an innovation ecosystem that is first flexible and collaborative, second, involves a broad mix of factors and territories, maximizing the impact of innovation to all, and third, draws on the strengths of national, regional, and local innovation ecosystems. We want to foster a fit-for-purpose, inclusive, and connected pro-innovation environment to help Europe capitalize on its scientific excellence, its collective intelligence, and creativity. The European cultural and creative sectors are among the key assets of Europe, contributing to 12 million of jobs, social cohesion, and well-being. For the first time, we'll have a dedicated cluster on Horizon Europe on culture and creativity. And for the first time, we'll have a session about the future vision of the cultural and creative ecosystem. scientific excellence. Scientific excellence needs to be reaffirmed as core to Europe's competitiveness. And universities are knowledge creators, combining education, research, and benefits for society in their key mission. So it is important to strengthen higher education institutions and their surrounding ecosystems through the European Universities Alliances to improve access to excellence for all institutions. And we want to support the transformation of universities in Europe. This will allow them to become catalyzers of knowledge and innovation and developers of talents. We need stronger cooperation at the European, regional, and national level to create an innovation ecosystem which can benefit all regions, in which startups can thrive and no one is left behind. So our ambition for our R&I Days is to continue to build together with all of you everything that we need in research and innovation in order to provide concrete ideas for smart investments, for scaling up our companies, to have new forms of financial instruments, and how to best exploit synergies between European, national, and regional funds. Cooperation is indeed key, and with this in mind, we recently released our communication on global approach for research and innovation. With this document, we set out our global strategy for cooperation with other countries and entities. Europe is open to the world, so is Horizon Europe and European research and innovation. We want to collaborate with as many countries as possible because challenges such as climate change require a global mobilization. However, we must also protect our common values, such as freedom of research, ethics, and secure reciprocity. Last but not least, citizens. Citizens must continue to be at the center of the policy process from the creation to the implementation and monitoring phase. And that's what we are showing with R&I Days. Here we have another good example. The European missions were an important step in this direction. They are changing the way we do research and innovation policy in Europe by integrating citizens in the whole process. The objectives of the 5 missions are concrete and close to the citizens. Looking at the next steps ahead, the Conference for the Future of Europe will also be crucial to engage the citizens. We need to listen and take fully into account the expectations of our citizens, of our researchers, of our innovators, because we must learn from them. So yes, I'm convinced that today we can send strong messages. First, research, innovation, and education are key drivers for developing and for overcoming challenges and paving the way towards a sustainable, green, and digital future. Second, we need effective synergies at all levels. Synergies between policies, synergies between programs and instruments at European, national, regional, and local level. We need synergies between sectors and disciplines for building more sustainable, knowledge-based economy and resilient society. And finally, we need to continue to engage citizens. We need everyone on board. We are ready to listen to every single voice to make the difference happen. Time to act is now, to put our programs and your ideas into motion. Welcome to the R&I Days 2021, and please, be bold in your ideas.
Well, thank you very much, Commissioner, for those inspiring words. I'm struck, we often say build back, and you said build forward, so I think that was a lovely message. And I really am looking forward to discussing with you in more detail your ideas over the next coming 2 days. You're not going to be far from us the whole time. I would now like to introduce our next speaker, who is Christian Silviu Bușoi, Member of the European Parliament and Chair of the Committee on Industry, Research and Energy. Christian, you're very, very welcome, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I would like to thank and congratulate Commissioner Gabriel and her team. I congratulate also Director General Paquet. I'm happy to be here in this high-level ceremony in the opening of European Research and Innovation Days, representing the European Parliament and the Industry, Research and Energy Committee. It is not an overstatement to say that the prosperity of Europe's future, whether in social, economic or health terms, depends on research and innovation. The COVID-19 pandemic, as very clearly stated Maria Gabriel, demonstrated us that innovation and research can be a driver for our recovery, and that we rely on research and innovation to become resilient for future crises. We also need research and innovation to adapt to our globalized world and to prepare a better and a greener future for our next generation. Moreover, in securing our lead in tackling climate change, we need to work towards climate innovation and digitization, remaining competitive and assuring growth. Horizon 2020 and its predecessors have shown what European researchers and industries can achieve when enough money and resources are invested in R&I. They have also shown us where we need to improve and how. Now it's the turn of Horizon Europe. We have the most ambitious program in the field of research with a very robust budget, mostly as a result of our committed negotiating team. And here I have again to pay tribute to Maria Gabriel, energy and involvement. The know-how, the funds and instruments to support it, the policies to work towards a prosperous future, we have everything, and all we need is the will to implement all these objectives. Horizon Europe brings together all those elements, and its implementation will indeed a test of our willingness to dedicate even more resources to R&I in the future. Succeeding in the double transition, the green and the digital, we need innovation. We need a synergic Horizon Europe with all MFF instruments and in complementarity with the recovery and resilient facility. Hence, we need to further boost investment in research, innovation, disruptive technologies, breakthrough technologies in all sectors of industry, in the energy sector, for implementing the digital transition, in the transport sector, to boost communities, local communities, to go digital in terms of administration. Nevertheless, we need a key instrument to address the many pressing issues in the field of health as well, such as antimicrobial resistance, telemedicine, robotics, digitalization, innovative treatments and vaccines, and of course, we need research and innovation in order to cure cancer and to win in this battle against cancer. Health and the development of health services. Investing and boosting innovation in this sector should be a top priority for the policymakers, not only to fight the current pandemic, but also prepare our health systems to respond to the global challenges and also to maybe unexpected future threats. It is proven that innovation can improve healthcare, bring efficiency, and bring, in some cases, the cost savings. It changes the ways we buy and we use healthcare, but also innovation use new technologies to develop new products and treatments or to improve care. European Parliament in general and ITRE committee in especially has been working hard to make sure that Horizon Europe is delivered on time. What we need now is implementation. Because investing in research and innovation will give us a high return, not only monetary, but also in terms of competitivity, safety, security, and prosperity. And it will also contribute, and it's very important to mention this, to the Union's aim to be technologically autonomous and less dependent on external support or supply. I look forward to the discussions this couple of days, and I would like to wish you fruitful debates and the best of luck. I would also like to thank researchers and innovators and the institutions and businesses that support them for their work, for making Europe a world leader in research and innovation. And I would like to assure you of European Parliament support and commitment towards research and innovation sector. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Christian. That was a great comprehensive introduction from you, so thank you for that. Now, as we all know, Portugal currently holds the chair of the rotating EU presidency of the Council of the European Union. So I would now like to introduce our next speaker, Manuel Reiter, the Portuguese Minister of Science, Technology and Higher Education, to tell us more about his country's priorities in the field of research and innovation. Minister, thank you very much. Let's hear from you.
Good morning, everyone, and a particular thanks to Commissioner Maria Gabriel. We all know that research and innovation have been critical pillars in the European thought and the building up of Europe. And we live today unprecedented times, certainly driven by the last year pandemic crisis, but also because we are mobilizing Horizon Europe and Next Generation EU to promote a green and digital transition across Europe and preparing, above all, a resilient recovery with a renewed European research area. And therefore, these R&I days are particularly critical to engage researchers in particular, citizens at large, and entrepreneurs, and to focus on ideas, because that will be the ultimate goal of our construction of an European and of the European research area. Above all, a renewed European research area and the launch of Horizon Europe serve also as a unique opportunity to reaffirm the need of the 3% GDP investments in terms of research and development, a target for 2030, which was actually very much considered in the Commission communication of September 2020, and reaffirming over the last months in various different councils, implementing the European Research Council, launching and promoting the European Innovation Council, opening up the European Institute of Technology, together with the building up of synergies between the Recovery and Resilience Facility and Horizon Europe are key issues for the years to come. But let me focus particularly in three main points. First and foremost, science-employment relationships. We have learned over the last year more than ever that science heals, but science creates markets and creates jobs, and we need more science and more scientists across Europe to create more and better jobs. And again, following Commissioner Gabriel words, no single region should be left behind of this opportunity to access to research excellence. And this leads to my second point. We need more and more to strengthen open and collaborative research to foster breakthroughs and the new frontiers of knowledge, from cancer research to genetically improved foods, to the physics of the universe, to the development of advanced materials and neuroscience, or quantum physics for secure communications, among many other disciplines. We know that we live in times that the unbalanced influence of human activity in Earth can only be act in terms of more research and the development. Last but not least, we need to foster research careers and increase the professionalization of research activities. Overall, as I mentioned before, Europe needs more scientists, and we need to collectively understand the need to improve the conditions to attract talents and retain researchers across Europe. Again, this has become a clear issue throughout our continents, and the need to promote attractive research careers across Europe has become a central point of the Portuguese presidency and of the conclusions of the Council last May as a critical issue to build up a resilient recovery to a renewed, cohesive and inclusive European research area. And we need more researchers and better careers through our institutions. And in this context, the building up of European university alliances has become a critical issue that can only be put together if we really understand the building up of the European education area, together with the strengthening of the European research area and an higher education transformation agenda. Again, this is a collective task force that we should engage citizens at large to better develop a resilient Europe for future generations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. Let us turn now to another speaker with a recorded message, specially recorded for us for Research and Innovation Days, from the Vice President of the European Commission, Margrethe Vestager.
Dear Maria, dear all, it's a pleasure to be with you today to open the European Research and Innovation Days. Over the years, this has become a flagship occasion to bring together all of you who make research and innovation a reality in Europe. I'm delighted to be part of this event. There's a lot to learn from the past year. Many lessons will be drawn. Some will become clear as we carry on with our recovery, but others are already obvious. And one appears to be more obvious than ever. Scientific research matters. It would have been impossible to see a way out of this pandemic without the relentless, excellent work of scientific researchers. Week after week, they got a deeper understanding of this virus until they found the vaccines to fight against it, as well as the treatments for those who had to face COVID infection. Science has been the way out of this pandemic. And the production of vaccines by international teams in record time shows it clearly. Now we need to build on that. We need to use this momentum in scientific research to deal with other challenges, because they will come. First, the openness with which researchers shared their results and their data was decisive in developing not only the vaccines, but also the treatments, and in showing the effectiveness of social distancing measures. We will need the same openness and collaboration to tackle decarbonisation, biodiversity loss, sustainable food production, to name a few. Second, we need common efforts by both public and private actors to transfer research results swiftly onto the market. This is critical to our scientific excellence, to our innovation power and our competitiveness as a continent. We have examples to prove it. Back in 2013, academic and industrial researchers came together with the promise to take graphene material from laboratories into our European market. Almost 10 years later, the result speaks for itself. We have graphene in high-capacity batteries, airplane parts, and motorcycle helmets, to name a few. We need more of these success stories. Third, now that the political will is there, we need the resources. We need significant public funding that we can rapidly mobilize and use to crowd in private capital. I'm delighted that the first Horizon Europe work programme has now been published with over 1,000 different actions covering all imaginable topics. This is a great start, and it's a huge vote of confidence in Europe's researchers. Horizon Europe will help to trigger a stronger commitment from the private sector, because no one should forget that innovation starts from the ground, from what the market needs. That is why the European Union investment in science is only part of the story. In addition, we need the national governments and the private sector to invest more and better. Europe is supporting that through the 672.5 billion euros of the Recovery and Resilience Facility. I'm encouraged by the number of national investment plans, which include support for scientific research and the need to link it more strongly to what our economies need. I'm also expecting a lot from the European Innovation Council. Its capacity to support breakthrough innovations whenever the risks are too big for private investors alone will be key to help our startups become important players here in Europe and beyond. We also need more coordination between the EU and member states and between member states themselves so that we get the best possible impact out of our investment. Our scientists must cooperate on shared challenges that reach far beyond any borders, like the green and digital transitions or threats to our health. That is what people want and expect from us. The new European research area will provide the forum for this cooperation so that we can give a common direction to our efforts. The European Pact for Research and Innovation, which the Commission will propose to Member States later this year, will be a public signal of our commitment to work together. Finally, it is true that inside Europe, it's also true for our relations with our international partners. In our recent communication on Europe's global approach to research and innovation, we have been clear that we need cooperation with the best scientists in the world, wherever they are, to produce the best science, because excellence has no borders. Horizon Europe will continue to welcome partners from all over the world and to encourage cooperation with specific partners in key areas. At the same time, we see that some areas of the world do not share our values and principles, or do not have the same respect for fairness and reciprocity in our relations. So we need to balance our openness with safeguards to protect our European interests and our open autonomy. Anyone is more than welcome to be a partner, as long as they share our values and act on fair, equal terms. Getting this balance right on the basis of a dialogue with our partners will be a key task in the next month as we launch the new Horizon Europe programme. This year's Research and Innovation Days, involving thousands of participants from Europe and across the world, will be central to that debate, and I encourage all of you to contribute actively to shaping the future of European research. I wish you a lively and fruitful discussion, and I'm looking forward to continue this conversation together. Thank you.
Well, indeed, thank you. And thank you to everyone for their opening remarks and for framing what I know is going to be a lively and engaging set of discussions and debate over the course of today and tomorrow here at Research and Innovation Days. But it's much more than just an event. It is a policy moment, really allowing for a really frank and open exchange of views on the key elements of European policy across a range of sectors. Now, before we start off the plenaries and the panels, let's first try out the quiz tool to get us in the mood for the discussions ahead, because, of course, this is a two-way street. I'm going to ask you the question, what is your expectation about this year's European Research and Innovation Days? You can go to slido.com, put in the code RIDaysEU and follow. You have 20 seconds to pick an answer and we'll be able to see the results in the real time on screen. So just go to Slido, that's sli.do or slido.com, and you can also see that tool on the platform. There's no need to download anything. While we're waiting for your results, I want to remind you that, of course, you can tweet about any aspect of the Research and Innovation Days 2021 using the hashtag RIDaysEU. Check out our social media wall, spread the news, get your colleagues involved and spread the word across social media, because it's really a great tool to be more interactive for Research and Innovation Days. During the 2 days, you're also invited to share your opinions via that Slido, via chats available in each channel and in each village house, as we're calling it. Book a meeting with the policy officers and discuss with them directly. There's a real opportunity for engagement here in those village houses and on our platform. Now, Commissioner Gabriel has already stressed it in her opening remarks, but we also encourage you to join the Conference on the Future of Europe, because that's happening as well, because the future is in your hands. This is something that's really unique to the European Union, so seize the opportunity. If you scroll to the bottom of the event page, you can join the conference and enhance discussions around research and innovation. It's not just a two-day event, it's a journey together, and so I do want to hear back from you. Now, I think we can have a look at the results of that Slido poll. I see a big screen in front of me here. What is your expectation about this year's European Innovation and Research and Innovation Days? 75% of you saying to get the latest insights about the European R&I landscape. Others want to follow the flow and discover what it's all about. Still more want to have a say in the future of European R&I. And the ones, of course, you want to meet with your fellow participants. But far out in front there is to get the latest insights. So, Commissioner Jean-Eric, the audience wants to find out a lot. I suppose that means we have to live up to the challenge over the next 2 days. So I think we're going to really keep an eye on what's being said through the platform. We're going to keep an eye on that poll, and the event platform offers amazing possibilities. I am confident that your expectations will be met. We are certainly going to absolutely do our best to do that. There will, of course, be a number of polls. There will be multiple choice questions. There are quizzes, so you can even enjoy yourself, have fun over the next 2 days, and check out the game zone and hunt for a treasure. There'll be hints throughout the different sessions that we're having, so you want to keep one eye on the game zone and one eye on the sessions. And remember those sustainability measures? Well, there's also a dedicated quiz there to be part of the sustainable element of R&I Days 2021. Jean-Eric, you and the team have prepared a fantastic 2 days journey for us. It's really been really great to be involved with it, and I'm sure it's going to be fantastic over the next 2 days. Maria, the floor is yours to give us the official launch of European Research and Innovation Days 2021.
Well, thank you very much, Jennifer. I will be extremely brief, because I think that since the beginning of this opening session, we have heard extraordinary messages, messages of support, messages of encouragement. At the same time, yes, thank you very much for raising again the importance how now our common challenge is not only to talk about the new elements in Horizon Europe, but really to bring them to the people, to regions, and to have your ideas and your concrete projects on board. So I would like to declare the European Research and Innovation Days 2021 open. Enjoy this common journey.
Thank you very much for those inspiring openings. Yes, we're going to punch the air. We're so excited about this. We're going to be investigating the topics you've raised in live sessions, plenaries, workshops. And for those logged on now, do take part in as many of the sessions as possible. They aim to be highly interactive and participatory, but you have to be there early, because there are nearly 100,000 people logged on at the moment, I know. And if you want to find out more, you can check out the frequently asked questions section of the website or use the chat bot feature. So let's begin and kick off with the first plenary session, which starts at 10:15 Brussels time. Welcome to the event. I wish you all a great 2 days of lively debate and discussion. But before that, I invite you to follow a video on the sustainable measures we've put in place. 3, 2, 1,